Hey guys, so before I start, this video is going to be all voiceover. I had a biopsy last week and my face is still a little swollen and I don't really feel like being on camera right now. But I wanted to go through Eric Zurbin's Microwave Popcorn, which is from 52 Weeks of Flute, and kind of give you ideas about how I went about learning the piece, the techniques in it, and kind of break it down the same way I broke down Cassandra and Density 21.5 in longer videos. I'm hoping this one will be a little bit quicker and a little bit more casual. And if this is something that you guys like, I can definitely do it with more pieces. So yeah, let's get into it. So to begin, a little bit of background about this piece. It was written for University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign's 24-hour composathon in 2018. It was written for me by Eric, and he started the basis for the piece by popping a bag of microwave popcorn in a microwave and recording it, and then used a program to analyze it to kind of break down some of the spectral sounds that the microwave was creating, and we went from there. So the first line is the most straightforward one. The high E's are as close to the frequency of the microwave buttons as we could get. So the high E's are just someone typing in the numbers of how long to microwave the popcorn. And then the very low singing and playing is the closest we could get to the frequency of the hum of the microwave. And then you start getting a little bit more crunchy sounds and more warbling as the microwave warms up. So there's a multiphonic that he and I worked on and made sure that it worked. And then you add some low notes that are changing to create difference tones with vibrato and modulation of sound so that the difference tones change, which kind of sounds like a microwave working. I'm sure everyone who's watching this video has at least heard a microwave function, and you know that it has that like underlying hum, but things change as it heats up and as it goes, and that's really what we were going for. And then you can see in the third line you start getting pizzicato sounds, and that's when you start getting the popcorn popping. We did use high percussive sounds, which I know a lot of you are going to say, like, why did you do that? Those, we've talked about how those don't work very well. But these ones do. They give a nice little kind of weak pop, and since this is the beginning of a popcorn popping, we wanted it to be a little bit less solid. And then you also do get some true pitches with some sung pitches, so you start getting a variety of sounds like when the bag of popcorn is warming up, and then still with some nice microwave hum. And before all of you guys say that there isn't enough information on this screen, he did give me a very, very distinct key at the beginning. I just didn't include it because I knew I was going to be breaking this down. And then the next page gets a lot more frenetic and a lot more difficult, honestly. This is the kind of heart of the bag of popcorn popping, so it's a much more active texture. There's a lot of harmonics, a lot of percussive sounds, a lot of high notes. And this was the really difficult part to learn because it felt so out of control. And the thing that I really had to work on here was feeling comfortable being out of control, feeling comfortable with possibly there being a wrong note every so often, because what was very clear from what Eric told me about the piece was that he wanted the feeling to be there. It wasn't necessarily exactly right. It was a very new complexity style of piece where the sound and the intention was much more important than the end result. The third page is probably more difficult than the second page. Even more intervals, tongue rams, slap tongue, flutter tongue, kind of everything in the kitchen sink in terms of flute technique. And that's the full-on, like, center of the popcorn bag popping. And again, this was a difficult thing to learn just because it was so technically demanding. But what we came to discuss and what Eric was very clear about was it was intention and not exact. And while as a flute player and as a musician and as a classical player, that's sometimes hard to wrap your head around. Once you can, it becomes a little easier and it becomes a lot of fun because then you're just trying to do the thing and not worrying about it being exactly right. So the last page, the intensity starts to die away. Of course, the bag of popcorn is starting to slow and hops, and the microwave sound comes back a lot more. That's what the hollow notes, really low notes are. And those, obviously, you're taking advantage of the fact that my voice is as low as it is, and really trying to create as much of a difference tone as you can because a microwave does have so many layered pitches in it. For those of you who don't know what difference tones, the simplest way to describe them is the pitch that develops when you have two clashing sounds. Um, so especially when you're singing and playing and the flute and the voice are wide, the interval is wide, you get developing sounds that aren't ones you're playing. And that's what we were really going for. You can see in the second to last line, there's a section where I'm playing a high B and singing low C down with slides. And that's a really, really easy and great way to create difference tones, which is a lot of the reason why we were doing that. And then, of course, the last line is the final microwave beeps and the end of the piece. So I hope you guys like this kind of quick breakdown style of these pieces. If you want me to change how I do them, please let me know. Of course, as always, if you like this video, please give it a like. If you're new here, subscribe. If you want to support me more, check out my Patreon, and I will see you guys very, very soon.